Yeah, alright everyone, welcome back. Morning, all that stuff. Ozzy Osbourne on the nose. Wow, did you see Sharon? That was grief. I felt for her, mate. That was grief. They say you've got to love. You've really got to truly have loved to feel, proper grief, Big up to Ozzy. Yeah, so raining hard in London, mate, and I've got work in about half an hour after leave. Do you know what I'm saying? It's now 6:22, mate. 6:22, and most of that lot won't be waking up until late afternoon, will they? With a joint in one hand and a bloody can of alcohol in the other. Jesus Christ, one of the few grafters on this corner of YouTube. Backbone of the country, mate. Yeah, alright, Decca, Heggie, Brett May. Okay, let's be straight honest with this one. No jokes, no naff impressions, you know what I mean? Alright, so Decca's come on once again to say the obvious, which we already knew. We already knew, even if you had agreed to a mysterious, non-existent fight with Brett May, we knew nothing would ever happen. These men, all of them, are talkers. Venice, Heggie, May, Fitzlawyer, Diaper, complete and utter. No fighting. There never will be no fighting. I mean, Brett just wants a back and forth, and because Decca's clearly a little bit, brain damaged, he's giving him the back and forth. Remember, Brett wanted the back and forth and got the back and forth with Christie, with Venice. Do you know what I mean? Just for the YouTube shekels, which helped all of them, to be honest, because Christie's even admitted, that he made a pretty penny out of humiliating Brett May. It's funny how Decca don't talk about Christie anymore, innit? Considering he beat him up during the first fight, but, each to their own. Look, it's time for the talking is over. Look, we know there's never going to be no fight with Brett May. We know there's no 50,000. We know there's no 5,000 stadiums. These men ain't even professional fighters. They're amateurs. They're YouTubers. They're entertainers. Spare us the hypocrisy, yeah? You'd get maybe 1,000 people in a large bingo hall. That max. Let's be realistic. Same with Venice. No one's going to pay to see that little diddy man, that little drugged up bodybuilder. Natural, my arse. Goofs, a lot of them. Look, Heggie, the time for talking is over. We've heard it all before for years and years and years. You've been locked up 3 times in about 2.5 years. What have you to fear? It's time to go and see Mr. May, and it's time to go and see Mr. Video Craig. You claim once destroyed your life with witnesses. I mean, allegations. It's funny how Craig left off all his victims on this documentary, isn't it? The air hostess, them 2 children that are no longer here. Sick, twisted man, but ain't they all on this side of YouTube? The bully brigade, they've got to have someone to, make their life a misery and, make money off of each day, Craig's retired, yet he has to make 3, 4, 5 videos a day on 3 separate channels. That I know of. I mean, it could be more. The Dossers, aka the Tossers, started off a little bit funny, a little bit of banter, some good funny lines. I'm talking about joke lines, not the other. I'm sure they're on the other lines as well. But now it's got incredibly stout. That Bobby, Bean Tim Bobby, Beetroot Bobby, the smug, arrogant old fart. You know what I mean? Coffee link sprint. Sprinting the winners. Sprinting the winners. Let's go videos. Oh, mate. And then you got that other one, the Jizness, who's so far up the other lot's backside. Do you know what I mean? He's probably coming out the mouth. Absolute cringe. Remember when he done that little turd when, I don't know if was he drunk or something? He done a little turd on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Another one that can't seem to find the bathroom like Bobby, Absolutely disgusting. When I saw that, it you know what? It made me feel ill for a couple of days. Every time I was eating, I was thinking of that disgusting mess, you know what I mean, on the floor. And him like looking so like pleased with himself. I mean, an absolute degenerate, an absolute pencil neck geek who couldn't fucking roast a peanut. Do you know? And then complaining about mirth, you know, about don't bring families into it, don't bring Shouldn't he be telling all that lot that he's associated with it? Don't bring in Danny G's family into all this and others. You know what I mean? The cookie crumbles on both sides. Yeah, and then you got Phil. Phil's walkabout the Reacher, another bore, an absolute bore. He needs a fucking broom up his backside. Jesus Christ, Phil. You haven't even got the energy to talk. How are you going to fight, mate? Give it up. You can barely breathe. You're sat there wheezing. You're out of shape. You know what I mean? You're a 65-year-old granddad, you know what I mean, who spends his pastimes now changing diapers and pushing the pram around, you know? It's cringe. You was going to fight Danny G. Never happened. You was going to fight or do over the sheriff. Never happened. Now you're throwing your challenges around for the mirth. It had never happened. But if it did happen, it'd flatten you, mate. It'd flatten you, because you can see the mirth is fit. Yeah, he might be carrying still a little bit of, do you know what I mean? You know, extra, you know what, but you got to remember, lost about fucking 8 stone. And look at you. Look at you, mate. You know what I mean? Oh, look, I'm carrying girth as well. I'm down to just about 15 stone, just about 15 stone, 2 pounds, something like that. From 17.5 stone, mate. So I've lost 2.5 stone myself. Yeah, all right, I've lost it all on my shoulders and my arms, but, you know, I need to lose it off the chunky face, but, you know, I'll get there. Rome wasn't built in a day, but yeah, this Decca and Brett, mate, it's cringe, mate. It's cringe. Nobody cares. Yeah, people are watching because there's nothing else to watch. Brett wants a back and forth. He's desperate for back and forth. His content is, you know, we've had him sat in his car now for nearly 10 months, you know, talking about, well, you know, I've got to get the right fight platform. My licence, this, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if certain people have put him up to it. Because his last video, I'm sure it didn't get monetized because of the filth that was coming out of his mouth, you know. He always drops these names around. Half these names nobody's heard of, yeah. Oh yeah, Jimmy, old Jimmy for a feet, and from up north. Nobody's heard of these people, or Tui, Mr. Tui, and you know what I mean. And it's fucking cringe. The guy's a big fat pudding. He wouldn't last 20 seconds. Yeah, he's got size. That's all he's got. Size. You can tell his cardio would be shot. Just like in the Rob Cunningham fight, yeah? 30 seconds, gassed out. Quit. Had to quit. Because I had nothing left. Nothing. They would have been carrying him out, literally, with a fucking oxygen mask on, if it had continued. You know what I mean? He's a big, fat pudding. He's out of shape. He's got a bit of power. But like I said, you know, against the skilled boxer or any skilled fighter would make mincemeat of him. He truly would. You know what I mean? How are people still, you know, sucking up to him and believing his waffle and believing, you know, oh yeah, there really is a fight. And then you've got little shorty pants coming on. Venice said, oh yeah, I've heard from a reliable source there really is a fight. Your word is about as fucking reliable as his word. You fucking oversized drug bodybuilder goof. You know, put down the fucking steroids before they kill you, mate. Do you know what I mean? The damage you must have done to your ticker. You look like the fucking lion from Wizard of Oz. Have you seen yourself? Get a haircut and have a fucking shave. You absolute mess of a man. You look like you've aged about 30 years in the last 6 months. Accelerated aging. That's what steroids do. It accelerates your aging. It's not real strength. People need to get that out of their hands. Heads, you know, when they, you know, people think, fucking hell, look at Paul. Deadlifting 600 pounds. Bench pressing 400 pounds. Wow, you look like a unit, mate. Drugs, mate. Steroids. Debol, Anadrol, Tren, Test. That's what it is. And clearly because he's off his tits most of the time, driving around ranting, he's probably on the coke as well. I mean, these men, they ain't got a fight in them. They ain't got a fucking fight in them. Venice won fight in 9 years. All right, Heggie used to turn up before he got banged up for fucking about 3 times. Do you know what I mean? Diaper's been hitting that little punch boxing machine fucking for the last 6 months. Do you know what I mean? And John Paul Fitz, liar, Big Bird, Popeye, going like that, he was. Flexing his non-existent muscles. The guy is built like a fucking pepperoni. Have you seen him? Jesus Christ. Is he another patriot? Is he another patriot? Absolute bullshitters, a lot of them. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what can I say? You know what I mean? I've been retired for years, but I'm probably more active than that lot. Do you get me? But yeah, this Venice May thing needs to be knocked on the head. It's giving May extra clout again. It's giving him something we can sit there rambling, making out, he's ready to fight, or he wants to fight, or he's getting fit. The lies just roll off the tongue. The guy's absolute cabbage. Do you know what I'm saying? Fucking Jabba the Hutt. God bless. Speak to you tomorrow. Yeah, big up to all the real ones.